Every year like clockwork, it comes back around. This could be literally any holiday, but if you click this video, you know I'm talking about Halloween. Every year around this time, you guessed it, I watch specific Halloween cartoons. Whether they are movies, specials, or even fall and Halloween themed shows. I want to talk about these Halloween themed stuff I watch every year, 5 to be specific. I do watch more than 5, though I specifically wanted to talk about these ones. Let's get right into it. Let's start with a 2000s classic, Scary Godmother, Halloween Spooktacular, and its sequel, Jimmy's Revenge. Two 3D animated Halloween specials made by Mainframe Entertainment, most well known for their shows like Reboot or Transformers Beast Wars. The specials themselves are based on books of the same name by Jill Thompson, about a young girl named Hannah who's tricked into going into a spooky house and ends up meeting her scary godmother who shows Hannah that Halloween, monsters, and among other things, aren't as scary as they appear to be. These specials are honestly not the most amazing things out there in terms of specials to watch, but they are special to me. I grew up watching these, year after year when it aired on TV, so I have a huge nostalgia for them. It's very simple in premise of characters just doing things on Halloween, but its simplicity is what makes it a comfort watch for many, and considered to be a cult classic among its fans now. The animation doesn't hold up the best, but you gotta appreciate the art style they were going for, doing what they can to match the original book. The expressions are well done too, they just wanted to stretch as much as they possibly could, even if those expressions don't always look the best. The designs of the characters still thrive to be unique to one another, mainly for the monsters, not so much the humans though. If you are looking for something to watch around Halloween time, this one is a chill time for everyone. I feel it's a good intro into spooky stuff without being too much. If you want to watch, you can find both these specials very easily on YouTube. Next up, we have what I feel is a highly underappreciated show, Costume Quest. Based on the video game franchise of the same name, the show was made by Federated Studios, who've also developed shows like Adventure Time, The Fairly OddParents, and Bee and Puppycat to name a few. The show follows a group of 4, Ren, Reynold, Everett, and Lucy, as they defend their town from being taken over by nougat-eating monsters, with the help of their new friend Norm, who provides their costumes with magic powers so they can easily handle the threat. Along the way, they learn and grow with one another, keeping their small town safe. Like I mentioned, I personally think this series is highly underappreciated. I'm guessing because the game the show is based on isn't extremely popular to begin with, and it being one of the earlier originals series made for Amazon, and the fact that it technically only lasted one season with 2 parts and a Christmas special, though it does wrap up its story well. I like the character dynamics, you get to know the main gang well as some good side characters, and the main antagonist too. There's good story lore about the town. I find the setting of fall in general just very calming, and this series is just full of it. There aren't too many shows in general that just focus on Halloween. This is one of the few, and it takes advantage of it very well. Like I mentioned, it's available on Amazon Prime if you want to give it a watch. With every big franchise, there's bound to have a few specials made for them. This one, obviously made for Halloween, is called Toy Story of Terror. Following a set group of characters we've gotten to know, like Woody, Buzz, Jessie, Trixie, Pricklepants, Rex, and Potato Head, as Bonnie and her mom end up having to stay the night in a motel when their tire went flat, which leads to the team exploring the place, though one by one they start disappearing. I'm not going to spoil what's going on, so you can watch it yourselves, but I do find it interesting. It even gives light to some lesser known toys they make. I'm a big Toy Story fan, so when I saw that they made some specials, I was all about it. And now they've become a yearly tradition to watch. I like the smaller stories and adventures they go on. The animation is on par with the movies, and the new character dynamics works well with the small group of characters they use. This special in particular has a big focus on Jessie, which is nice to see, to have her in a lead role and becoming more fleshed out. Also, even though it's technically a Halloween special, I feel like it kinda drops the spooky themes about halfway through. Though I suppose from the toys perspective, it's still very scary with what they go through. Legit, if you're a fan of Toy Story and want more, this special should be 100% up your alley. Kinda wish they just kept making these instead of more movies, but what are you gonna do? I highly recommend watching it. It's available to watch on Disney+. How about a DreamWorks one now? It's Scared Shrekless, an obvious special for the Shrek franchise, where Shrek himself is having a time of his life with his family scaring people on Halloween. Later on, Shrek's friends try to scare him, but fail to do so. They then challenge him to a scare-off by telling scary stories with one another being too frightened to keep going. It's a fun time getting to see these characters we already know tell some funny and mostly parody stories of real horror movies, so it mixes some scary stuff with comedy to keep it lightly toned. Everybody here still feels in character. It makes a lot of sense that Halloween would be Shrek's favorite holiday because he literally gets to scare people. The parodies are pretty funny interpretations of their originals, even making references to the first movie, with the little puppet show now being on the other foot.
Ooh, let's do that again. No!
I would say the animation is pretty on par with the movies, and of course the aesthetic works well for the special. If you're a Shrek fan, I'd say this is a good time to see other characters in a different scenario, outside the movies. It's nothing amazing, but I think it's still a good time. It looks like these specials are available to watch on Hulu and Peacock in the US, though those aren't in the area, you can actually watch most of it on YouTube, so if you're curious, it's got pretty easy access to it. The final Halloween recommendation will be a movie, Paranorman by Laika Studios, about a boy named Norman who can see ghosts, while everyone else judges him for it. He's bullied and his parents aren't the most supportive of him, but in a way still try to reach out. He ends up being told by his uncle, who can also see ghosts, that he needs to perform a ritual to keep the witch's curse away, before she can destroy everything. Along the way, he gains companions that aid him against the spirit and a horde of zombies following them, as they try to save their town and stop the curse. I think Paranorman is a really great movie if you haven't seen it already. Lots of great visuals and fun character designs with some good creepy and funny imagery throughout. It's got some good twists and turns, some you wouldn't expect. In a way, it defies what you would typically think for a movie like this one. When you think you got it all down, it does something else completely, and becomes a misunderstanding in many ways. You understand the characters more in the way they act, and I feel it teaches a good lesson by the end of how to treat others better. If you're a fan of stop-motion movies or animated movies in general with a creepy aesthetic, this movie is up your alley for sure. I highly recommend to anyone looking for animated horror. It might be a bit much for younger children, but I also feel it's a great gateway into the genre. It looks to be available on Amazon if you have it. A great movie to add to your Halloween watch list. And those were 5 different Halloween specials, shows, and movies to watch during the spooky season. Like I mentioned, I do watch more than these 5, but I specifically wanted to talk about these ones, just to generally get more eyes on them. If this video does well, I can do a sequel talking about more Halloween things I watch every year. I truly believe everything I've recommended in this video is worth watching at least once, and maybe you'll add it to your rotation every holiday. I kinda wish they made not only more specials for Halloween, but also more animated movies with Halloween aesthetics, at the very least. I feel animated horror-like stuff is still such a niche part of the medium that has yet to be fully developed into. Let me know if you've ever seen any of these before, and what do you think of them? If you want another video about me talking about more Halloween cartoon stuff, let me know, and happy Halloween.